LiberalViewer presents.
So, as a lawyer myself, one of the most frequent frustrations I have with all the cable news networks is the way they misinform viewers when it comes to important legal issues, and that was definitely the case on CNN's Situation Room when host Wolf Blitzer asked CNN's Senior Legal Analyst Jeffrey Toobin about this latest crazy claim from Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump about wanting to change the Geneva Conventions that outlaw war crimes over in this clip.
And Jeffrey, you're a legal analyst. Let's talk about international law, the Geneva Conventions regarding warfare. Trump said some changes, some adjustments need to be made at the Geneva Conventions because soldiers right now, they're afraid to fight. When you heard that, what was your reaction?
Well, the Geneva Conventions are a law. A treaty that the United States signed and the United States Senate ratified. So if there were to be any changes under our obligations under the Geneva Conventions, they would have to be negotiated and passed by the Senate. So, we can have a debate about whether the Geneva Conventions can be changed, but President Trump, like any president, is not allowed to do it unilaterally.
So that's just wrong because it's at least an unsettled legal question as to whether the President of the United States can unilaterally withdraw from a treaty. In fact, the closest a federal court came to deciding that question was back when President Jimmy Carter decided to unilaterally withdraw from the U.S. treaty with Taiwan, and when he was sued by some members of Congress, the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals ruling on the issue first pointed out that the U.S. Constitution is actually silent on the matter of treaty termination and ended up finding in favor of President Carter, and while the U.S. Supreme Court vacated that decision on technical legal grounds, it also dismissed the case of the members of Congress suing President Carter, leaving his decision to withdraw from the treaty with Taiwan in force. So when it comes to the Geneva Conventions outlawing war crimes, CNN's senior legal analyst Jeffrey Toobin had no basis to assure CNN's viewers that
we can have a debate about whether the Geneva Conventions can be changed, but President Trump, like any president, is not allowed to do it unilaterally.
So what do you think? Why is CNN's senior legal analyst making such a clear legal pronouncement about something that is so legally unclear? And regarding the danger he downplayed, if Donald Trump became President Trump, do we need to worry he will unilaterally withdraw the U.S. from the Geneva Conventions outlawing war crimes and other important U.S. ratified treaties?
YouTube, you decide.